Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my series on Kate Bishop, the best champion in MCOC. Today, I'm making a video about a hidden little gem piece of utility that Kate Bishop has in her kit. And it's one of those things that when you read it in her kit, it doesn't seem like much. But then once you actually use it in reality, it's such an extremely powerful tool with Kate Bishop. And, I didn't really realize the importance of this when I first started playing Kate Bishop. I didn't really realize the importance of when I first read this in her kit. But the more and more I played Kate Bishop, the more and more I realized all these champions were being very aggressive, and I never once had to worry about a special 3 in a fight ever. Ever. And, this ability honestly makes Kate Bishop one of the best power control champions in the game. By far the top skill power control champion in the game. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Now, is she on the same level as like Dr. Doom or Magic or Mr. Fantastic or Spidey 2099? No, I don't think so. But if I had one of those, if I didn't have one of those 4 champions and I had a fight where I had to have some form of power control, I'm bringing Kate Bishop into that fight. Now, what am I talking about? Because you're probably thinking there's nothing in her kit that says she can power steal or power drain or power lock or whatever. And the ability is that when you push the opponent into the corner, they are 60% more likely to throw a special attack. And again, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but this is such a powerful AI manipulation tool that Kate Bishop has. It's very, very predictable exactly when, they're going to throw special attacks. It makes it so easy to evade special attacks. And again, no matter if they have power gain or increased combat power rate, it doesn't matter. They're never going to build to a special 3 because they're going to be so aggressive in every single fight. So that's kind of what I wanted to make this video, is just show you kind of different scenarios you could use Kate Bishop for power control, and, hopefully try to convince you guys that she truly is, a top power control champion, or at least by far the best power control champion, in the skill class. And, kind of a little hint that I want you guys to be aware of and kind of keep an eye on as we're going through this video is that when you knock the opponent down in the corner, whether that's from a heavy attack or from a special attack, if they have over a bar of power, they are going to immediately get up and throw a special attack. And that is why that's why it's such a powerful tool, because I know exactly what they're going to do before they even do it. So when you're playing Kate Bishop, just keep the opponent in the corner. Just know, as soon as you knock them down in the corner and they have over a bar of power, they are going to use that special attack almost immediately. So, again, Kate Bishop doesn't really have anything in her kit that, counters combat power rate or passive power gain or anything like that. But again, she is going to be one of the top skill champions in the game for power control. Absolutely. A lot of people think of Hawkeye as a good power control champ in the skill class. She's like miles and miles and miles above Hawkeye. So let's kind of get into the action, show you what I'm talking about. In this first fight, we have Stealth Suit Spider-Man, we have Stark Enhanced Spider-Man. He is on a node called Power to Cower. So every hit in our combo meter is going to increase his power combat rate, and it decreases the cost of his special attacks. So as the fight goes on, he's going to have more and more increased combat power rate, and he's going to, not use as much power to actually activate a special attack. So this guy should be throwing special attacks all the time in the fight. And then you add to that, and he gets passive paralysis, so he's going to be doing that a lot. Now, I wanted to show you that right there. That special attack, that first hit in the special attack, he tried to evade that, and you can see that Kate Bishop bypassed that, even though her cold snap was not on. And that's because her special attacks cannot be evaded, they cannot be glanced, and they cannot be auto-blocked. So another powerful piece of utility. But, kind of back to this node, it also has safeguard on this node. So, you can't really do damage just by hitting him. You're going to have to do some damage over time. And again, Kate Bishop just basically bypasses safeguard with her cold snap. So again, she's a great counter to any node that has safeguard on it. So you can see, Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, he has a pretty annoying special 2 to kind of evade. His special 1's so much easier to evade. And you can see in this fight, he never built up to 2 bars of power, even though he had some increased combat power rate. So, that may not be too impressive for you guys yet. Next up we have the Hood. And the Hood is on a node called Feet of Energy. So every time I gain a bar of power, he's going to gain 100% bar of power. He's on Power Snack. So every time I activate a buff, it's going to get nullified. He gains some power. And then he's on Special 2 Bias, where he's only going to throw his Special 2s. And, that's not ideal with the Hood because you can't really easily evade his Special 2. And he's going to go invisible, which isn't as big of a deal with Kate Bishop. But you're going to see in this fight, he's never going to reach a Special 2 once in this fight. Even though he has all this increased, power gain. And even though he's on a Special 2 Bias node, Kate Bishop is just manipulating the AI so well in this fight with this, little power control mechanism that she has that he just doesn't reach a Special 2. So we don't have to worry about that. And, with this fight, like I mentioned earlier, we have the Power Snack node on this fight. And that's another, very good path for Kate Bishop because, again, she doesn't have naturally occurring buffs in her kit. So the only buff you're ever going to activate is the dexterity. And, she's a great counter for nodes like Power Snack. And I'm just going to show you. Wait till I knock him down in the corner here. He's going to get back up, immediately throw that special. I know he's going to do that because that's what the AI does. As soon as you knock him down in the corner, they have a bar of power. They're going to throw a special. So when I knock him down like that, I immediately back up. So that way I know I can completely evade that Special 1, and then I'm not going to activate my dexterity. So you can still, bypass a lot of special attack damage without activating dexterity in a lot of fights. So here we have Thor Jane Foster, and she's on a node called Vivified. So she has 200% increased power gain. She's going to get unblockable special attacks, and she's basically immune to Power Drain, Power Steal, Power Burn. So, champions like Dr. Doom are going to be completely useless for power control in this fight. And, a lot of champions in theory could do this fight, no problem. But you're gonna probably be sitting waiting to bait special attacks all the time because pretty much 5 to 10 hits is enough to get him, well over 2 bars of power in this fight. But you're gonna see with Kate Bishop, look, I knocked him down. I know they're gonna throw it. I back up. I immediately go in and attack. You don't have to worry about trying to bait out special attacks. Boom, I knocked him down. They threw a special attack. It's very predictable exactly what they're gonna do when they're gonna do it. And, that's one of the great things with Kate Bishop is you're not sitting there baiting out special attacks the whole entire fight. And even when she has this crazy increased combat power rate, I don't even come close to giving her a Special 3. Again, I'm just manipulating the AI to throw their special attacks, before they want. I bet they're going to throw a Special 1. Yep, look at that. Knocked them down, Special 1 right there. It's very easy to predict what's going to happen and when they're going to do it with Kate Bishop. So she's a very, very good champion on nodes like 200%, increased combat power rate for the defender there. All right, so now we're going to start getting into the really fun kind of power controls. We have a Hela, and Hela is on a node called All or Nothing. So basically, all they do is they activate Special 3s. And we also have a node where our attack is decreased by 50% in here, which isn't great for Kate Bishop, but doesn't matter. We're gonna get through this fight just fine. But again, you don't really have to worry about nodes like All or Nothing, because we're just going to manipulate the AI into throwing their special attacks before they ever build to a special 3. So right there, we got him to throw a special 1. I bet she'll throw another special 1 after I knock her down. Nope, she actually didn't that time. But usually as soon as you knock them down in the corner, boom, just like that, special 1. So it's not true 100% of the time, but a lot of it. Let's see if she throws a special 1 right. Yep. So 3 out of 4 times when I knocked her down in the corner with a borrowed power, she threw a special 1. Even though she's on All or Nothing, and by definition, all they want to do is throw special 3 attacks. So again, I'm just getting her to throw special 1s here consistently. I'm not sitting for 5 minutes trying to bait out one special 1 attack. It just, Kate Bishop makes the defenders very, very aggressive and use their special attacks very, very quickly. So, that's another great thing, is that, you're not just sitting there trying to dance around and then accidentally get hit because it's been 10 minutes since you hit the opponent. All right, so let's increase the stakes here. We have a Drax. He's on All or Nothing as well, but now we have Energize, so he's going to have some increased combat power rate. We have Limber, so we're reducing the duration of stuns, and we have that really annoying Do Not Go Gentle node. Kate Bishop is a perfect counter to every single one of these nodes. Again, the increased combat power rate doesn't matter. The All or Nothing doesn't matter. We're just going to manipulate the AI into throwing his special attacks well before he ever builds to 3 bars of power. Kate Bishop has that passive stun that we talked about in that last video on her parry stun evade mechanic. So you don't have to worry about nodes like Limber. And then that annoying Do Not Go Gentle node, where if we have any charges on us once the opponent dies, we're going to take a massive burst of damage, and they are not going to die in that fight. And Kate Bishop is like a perfect counter for that, because to get rid of those charges, you have to intercept to get rid of 2, or you have to do a heavy attack to get rid of 1. And like I mentioned in that last video, Kate Bishop's parry evade stun mechanic counts as an intercept, and you're constantly knocking them down with heavy attacks. So just by playing Kate Bishop normally, you could just completely ignore the Do Not Go Gentle node in that fight. All right, so now we have Gwenpool, and we're on a node called Surging Vengeance. So opponents are going to throw their special attacks in order from special attack 1, then special attack 2, then special attack 3. She also has that 200% increased combat power gain node. And then we also have the Do Not Go Gentle node on this fight as well, which again, we can pretty much just ignore. And, you're going to see... All right, so she threw the special 1. So now with this Surging Vengeance, she should only throw her special 2 attack next, right? And I don't really have them in the corner yet. So she did throw her special 2. Now I would expect her to throw her special 3. But watch, I knocked him down into the corner. We manipulated him to throw that special 1 very quickly. Knock him down in the corner. I bet she'll throw the special 1. Nope. Every time I say that, they don't do it. That's okay. Knock them down. I bet they'll throw the special 2. Nope, she's actually being very passive in this fight. But again, I'm not going to worry about her actually pushing her to a special 3. As soon as they get him back in the corner, there we go. Now we got manipulated him just enough. The other nice thing about Kate Bishop is even if you do have a passive, defender like this, or even if you have someone with crazy increased power gain passively, Kate Bishop is still doing really good damage over time with that cold snap. And you can see I don't even have to hit him. I haven't hit her in like 30 seconds, it feels like, and she still died. So that's another reason Kate Bishop is really good for power control situations, is that, she's still going to be doing that damage over time. All right, so this is a really fun fight with Kate Bishop. We have Captain America Infinity War, the boss from 6.3.6, one of the hardest bosses in Act 6. And I'm pretty sure when Kabam was designing Kate Bishop, they took this fight and they said, design a champion that can perfectly bypass everything in this fight. So what's going on in here? So number 1, we have Crit Me with Your Best Shot. So Captain America Infinity War is only going to take hits through critical, or only going to take damage through critical hits. We have kinetic shield up, the node's called destructive feedback. And that's where he puts that kinetic shield up. And when it is yellow, that means the shield is up. You cannot do any damage to him. Any damage you do during that time gets stored. And then if they make any contact with you, that damage gets reflected right back onto you. So normally with Kate Bishop, you can just completely bypass destructive feedback because you're not going to make contact, or the opponent's not going to make contact with you. You can see I just did it a little bit earlier in that fight because I just flat out missed a parry. But normally you don't have to worry about that. This Captain America also has Aggression Fury, which basically if you don't hit them, they're going to build up a ton of Fury debuffs very quickly. So like when you pair that with destructive feedback, when you don't want to hit into them on that shield is up, they're going to build up a ton of Furies and then do a ton of damage to you. But again, I'm not really worried whether his shield is up or not because I know he's not going to make contact with me. So he's never going to really build up a lot of Furies in this fight to do a lot of damage. And then this Captain America also has a node where we decrease the duration of buffs by 5 seconds. So you pretty much cannot use any champions that rely on buffs in this fight. And then he also has Surging Vengeance, where he's going to activate his special attacks in order from 1, 2, and then 3. But you can see we started out this fight and he's already thrown like 2 or 3, special ones in a row, even though he's supposed to throw special 1, special 2, special 3. So he throws a special 2. And then right now I'm going for my special 3. That's going to put my passive Cruelty and my passive Precision on. And that's what's going to allow me to start doing the critical hits. I already did 3 special 1s to get all my fragility debuffs on. So the kinetic shield is up right now. That's why I'm not doing any critical hits or any damage at all. But, now that I got increased all my critical rating, I'm going to start doing some big critical hits. So right there was a 22,000 special 1, 6,000, 6,000, 6,000, 10,000 medium attack, 9,000, 10,000. So Kate Bishop is very reliable for critical hits, even though Captain America as a defender just naturally glances a lot of hits like you see there. So, again, Kate Bishop just counters everything in this fight, and we never actually have to worry about him throwing a special 3, even though that's the node that he is on. So, a lot of people probably would never think Kate Bishop would be a really good counter to this boss fight, but she might be the best counter in the game to it. Look at this special 2, 27,000, 21,000, 21,000. That was a 70k critical hit special 2. And now you're going to see a big flurry of special attack, critical hits coming up here soon. As soon as that kinetic shield goes down. So that was a 6,500, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 7, 7, 10, 6, 6, 11,000 heavy attack right there. And then boom, 10k medium. So Kate Bishop can deliver critical hits. She can completely bypass nodes where, they only want to activate special 3. So great counter to that. All right, and then the last fight I have to show you is we have the supercharged Hyperion from Act 6. So he's going to be gaining his normal passive power gain buffs. He's going to be gaining a second passive power gain buff from a node. And then he's going to increase the potency of those power gains by 100%. So he absolutely has some crazy, crazy power gain, in this fight. Now, I did start the fight with Mr. Fantastic's, pre-fight debuffs on. The only reason I did that is because his power gain is so insane. I don't even have enough time to get him into the corner to activate Kate Bishop's, power control mechanic before he'd build to a special 3. But you can see the debuffs for Mr. Fantastic are already off. And now everything we're doing in this fight is just what Kate Bishop does in terms of power control. And, here's a situation where his power gain is so insane. If you just do 5-hit combos, he's going to build up to a special 3 very quickly. So all I'm doing is like 1 to 2 hit combos and backing off and just letting him throw his special attacks constantly. And again, that's another reason Kate Bishop's so good for nodes where there's so much power gain like this is I'm doing great damage over time with my 2 cold snaps. I don't really have to hit him. All I'm doing is hitting him just to keep him in the corner in this fight so that he will be very aggressive and throw his special attacks. And you can see, even though this is probably the node with the most power gain in the entire game, he never reached a special 3 in this fight. That's how incredibly aggressive and how much manipulation of AI that Kate Bishop has. So, she may not have anything that actually truly affects power gain or counters power gain, but she can be a very, very effective champion in situations where you need increased power gain. She is that good. So, I hope I taught you a little something new, maybe something you didn't know Kate Bishop could do. And we'll be back with some future videos soon, kind of talking about her buff immunity and all the things you can do with her tranquilized buff. So catch you then.